Hey team, well, the hay is in the barn for two reasons. One, summer's here in Jackson Hole and my hiatus from YouTube is over. And secondly, the hay is in the barn because I head out tomorrow for the Broken Arrow Skyrace in California. And therefore my hiatus from YouTube. I had to be ready for this race a lot sooner in the year than I'm used to. With winter here in Jackson, and I just felt that I had to kind of ditch the YouTube grind while I really kind of prepared for this race. I'm doing the Triple Crown, which is racing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the Ascent on Friday, the 46K on Saturday, and a 23K on Sunday. And today I was at Snow King for one final peaking run. And that's what we're going to talk about today. How not to create fatigue so you're able to peak for your race. And this was also one final time for me to well, I shouldn't say that. Second to final time that I'm testing out shoes to make the best choice for the Ascent on Friday. The Ascent on Friday is what they call the VK or the Ascent. It's been called a variety of names throughout the years, but it's essentially 3-mile ascent with 3,000 feet of gain. So pretty steep. It's going to be a lot of gain very quickly, and I'm kind of was torn between two shoes. One was the Scarpa Spin Race, which I love. I love the foam. It's a 4 mil drop, super light, and really, really good protection for how minimal it is. So I've been using this quite a bit, but I still have the normal Shurag that is even lighter than the Scarpa Spin Race. And I put both of these to one final test here on Snow King, and I can really feel the difference in weight with this shoe compared to the Scarpa, and that's going to be crucial on the Ascent. So as of right now, I'm leaning towards using this shoe for the Ascent, and I'll give it one more test trial when we get to the race on Thursday on the actual course. It just starts straight up at the resort and it's off trail, and I just want to test out the stability. But another reason besides the weight that I notice is that this is a 6 mil drop compared to the 4 mil drop of the Scarpa. And typically I like a lower to the ground, more natural feeling drop, 0 to 4 mil. That's kind of my sweet spot, which is why I like the Scarpa. But when I'm doing very, very steep grade with a lot of vertical, again, Friday's race will not include any downhill other than a little bit of a dip at the top before your final ascent. So I'm essentially racing uphill the entire way. And one thing I do notice with going with a 6 mil drop, aside from the weight, is that with just a little bit more drop, my heel is closer to the shoe and to the ground because having 2 more mil in the drop, 4 mil versus 6 mil. And I just find that that just allows me to be a little stronger, a little quicker, a little bit more forceful and powerful on ascents. And I did notice a significant difference today, and we'll get into my peaking workout today, but what I did on Snow King was I was running 10 to 20 second hill repeats, testing out the shoe, how they felt, but also using it as my peaking workout. And there was a significant difference in wattage in that was 20 second hill reps between the Scarpa and the normal, relatively the same effort. So again, I think a lot of that maybe has to do with just being able to get off the ground a little quicker because of the drop on steep grade. So again, as of right now, I'm going to go with the normal Chirag, and we'll give it one more test at the race. So getting to this peaking workout, and I think a lot of times athletes use the word taper. I like to use the word peak, because taper sometimes just refers to dropping volume and running easy. And I think we get that kind of interpretation in our mindset that that's what a taper is. And why I like to use the word peaking is that we're peaking our performance, so we're at our best come race day, or in my case, race weekend, where I have 3 races. And so with peaking, we want to drop volume, but we also want to maintain some intensity. And that's sometimes what's maybe missed when we use that word taper, where maybe we just focus on dropping volume and keeping things easy. Okay, it's the drop in volume that gives you the rest and recovery. It's maintaining some intensity that your body's used to that keeps you fresh. Okay, so today, like I mentioned, I was on Snow King doing very steep. These were probably 12 to 15% grade hill repeats at about 20 seconds. Again, very, very short. And the idea of them keeping them short is that I'm getting some intensity that my body's used to. I keep it on the same sequence of the day of the week that my body's used to on a Tuesday, that's still far enough away from the race that, again, this intensity keeps my body fresh. It helps me maintain the fitness that I've accumulated throughout the whole 5-month block. Okay, so the key is, again, keeping them very, very short to get that intensity, but they're short enough where we're not creating fatigue. Doing a much longer type of hill repetition in time would start to create some fatigue, and I don't want that this close to the race. So again, I'm just keeping fresh. It's keeping my brain and my body used to what it feels like to be on a steep hill, which again is very, very specific to what I'm going to be doing starting on Friday. Okay, so I think point being is that start to see approaching your race as not necessarily just a taper, but a peaking, where you're dropping your volume and maintaining some level of intensity that your body's used to again, keep you fresh. The drop in volume gets you recovered and gets you rested, so now you're fresh and rested going into the race. And I'll maybe get into what I do the day before the race, because we go through kind of the same thing again, was we want to wake up the legs. We want to do what I call leg openers the day before the race. So again, we're kind of blowing out the cobwebs a little bit from a lot of the drop in volume. And that's the key, is that just dropping volume isn't enough. We want to keep that intensity to keep you fresh. Okay, so, and with all this trip, we're going to Broken Arrow, and then we're going on to Western States to help Adrian McDonald. We're going to crew him through Western States, which should be a blast, and hopefully I can bring you guys along. So, all right, that's I guess that's a hello. How you been for a while? It's been a long time since I've been on here, so welcome back, and hopefully I can take you through some fun stuff at Western States and Broken Arrow, and get back into helping you guys out with some YouTube stuff. So, all right, as always, over and out from Jackson Hole, Born to Run World. See you guys.